Hey everyone! Today in this video I'm going to talk about the process of getting into nursing school. So what classes to take in high school and college that nursing schools will expect you to have completed, what kind of experience that the admissions committee is looking at in terms of getting into nursing school. And then finally, a really important topic would be your personality and dedication to the program. So let's get started. First off, I just want to cover how every school is different, so make sure you're utilizing your advisor when you're deciding what classes to take, and make sure you're meeting all the requirements for the school you are applying to. In this video, I'll go over some general recommendations that will help you kind of impress nursing schools and also help you prepare for the program. All right, so first off, in high school, I would recommend shadowing. The reason why I recommend this is because it'll allow you to kind of figure out what it's like to be in the nursing role. Now, you don't know all the nuances of being a nurse, like the medications, diagnosis, things you're going to be looking for as a nurse, but you will be able to get an understanding of what does the workflow look like for that day, what kind of schedule does a nurse have, and if you like working with patients. If your hospital allows it in the city you work for, you can typically submit an application to shadow on your hospital's website. Sometimes your high school, they may be able to help you set up that shadowing opportunity. I would recommend choosing a specialty you're interested in, or also just try something different, because it will give you a different, experience into that type of field. For example, in high school, I shadowed an ER nurse, and I also shadowed a nurse in pediatrics. So I was at that time more interested in pediatrics, but ER was a really great experience, and now I'm an ICU nurse, so it's funny how that worked out with being in the more critical care environment. I will say that some hospitals simply don't allow students to shadow, and it could be for a variety of reasons. Typically, for example, sometimes nurses at that hospital have a lot of students that are in nursing school that are with them, so they're unable to accept high school students. In that case, if you try reaching out to a hospital and they say, I'm sorry, at this time we're not accepting high school students to shadow, simply thank them for their time communicating with you, and see, you can maybe look into other options outside of the city you work in. You can also maybe talk to your advisor and see if they have any ideas for you. All right, so classes in high school. But I will say there's a couple classes I would recommend you take in high school. The first one is a medical class. My high school had it was like a medical terminology intro class to medicine, and in my class, there was a variety of students. Like, one is now a PA. A lot of us are nurses that were in that class, and it just provided a good baseline for a little bit of medical knowledge. We had people come to our class that were in different fields of medicine and talk about their profession, so that was really interesting. So if your high school offers anything like that, I would definitely recommend taking it. The other thing I'd recommend is taking chemistry, even just a baseline. You don't have to take PSEO or you don't have to do AP, but taking like a baseline chemistry is a good idea. And then the other one I'd recommend is anatomy and physiology. It's often a really fun class in high school. It's more baseline, but you get to cover a lot of the systems. And I really think in high school, getting a baseline knowledge, getting like a general understanding is important. When you get to college, it's a lot faster pace. You're going more in depth into these topics, and you're expected to know them well. So if you can get a baseline in high school, I think that's a great idea. All right, one of the biggest questions, do I need to have my certified nursing assistant certification? Like, do I need to be a CNA? And I know a lot of nurses who were a CNA, and I know a lot of nurses who are not, and they're great nurses, both of them. So I think it more aligns with what you want to do. If you are interested in becoming a CNA, going to like the CNA program, it's typically a couple weeks, all depends. I'd recommend it. For me, it helped me a lot it helped me work with patients. It helped me learn just how to transfer patients, how to be safe. And a lot of those skills I gained or learned from being a CNA. So I definitely recommend it. Another thing is you'll see the nursing role as well, and ask the nurse questions. Ask them about what you're seeing. Ask them, what meds are you giving? Kind of try to, pick their brain a little bit. Try to pick up a couple things. It's fun, and it allows you to connect with like your staff as well, which I think is always good. All right, and then another thing as a high school student that I would recommend doing is starting your resume. You may do this in a class, but if you don't, I'm actually going to come out with a video soon, so maybe I'll try to link it in the description or something, but I would start with a basic resume and just get things down, any jobs you've had, any, awards that you've been given, any scholarships you've received, and certifications you have as well, and just pick like a basic format you like. You will probably change it at some point, but you may not. So just start simple and get like a basic resume. All right, so now we'll go on to the first year of college and how you're going to prepare in college to enter nursing school. I do realize too, there's a lot of programs these days. You can get your LPN, you can get your RN, you can get your associate's RN, you can get your bachelor's RN. There's a lot of different ways to go about nursing school. So, I just want to go back to always use your advisor and reference the program you're applying for in terms of what you need to meet. But I'm kind of going over if you're going to a traditional 4-year school or a 2-year school, these are like some things that they're going to want you to have completed prior to the program. All right, so that first year of college, or just in general prior to nursing school, you will have to have several classes as prerequisites. So starting with your science classes, chemistry in a lab, microbiology in the lab, biochemistry, and anatomy and physiology. Those are almost always required. Make sure you're getting mostly A's and B's in this category. A lot of programs will break specifically your science GPA apart. Like they're going to separate your science GPA from your cumulative GPA. So as best you can, do well in your science classes. I will also say if you are interested in CRNA school or NP school, I know CRNA school also breaks down that science GPA, and it is very important when it comes to that. So best you can, get mostly A's and B's in your science classes. The next category, you're usually required to take a sociology course, a psychology course, and then sometimes nutrition as well. This isn't always included, and it's sometimes included in the nursing program and curriculum. And then the third category is you'll be required to have like an English class, communications, something like that, and a public speaking class. Overall, make sure you focus on getting good grades. You don't need a perfect 4.0 to get into nursing school, but it is competitive in a lot of schools. So I definitely recommend focusing on your classes during that prerequisite time. And then again, going back to the resume and cover letter, at this point you're in college, I'd maybe recommend having your career center at school review it, or maybe a professor review your resume and just kind of touch that up. If your nursing school requires a cover letter, I'd also recommend kind of drafting that and really being like thoughtful in your cover letter, because your cover letter's often like a beginning to your interview. It's kind of like the best parts of your interview should be highlighted in a cover letter. And then another thing is working on interviewing skills. You can do mock interviews. I'd also recommend just practicing common interview questions at home. I'd also recommend volunteering. It'll just kind of give you different perspective. You'll learn something, work with other people, develop those team working skills. And then the last thing is work experience. So whether you're at a nursing home, whether you've been a waitress, you work at a gym, you work with kids, some sort of experience, whether volunteering or working, that just, it allows you to have examples to draw on during your interview of problem solving, working with others, working under stress. Those are kind of things that the nursing school application committee is going to want to see how you work through that. Like I don't want to say if you can handle that stress or problem solving, but they're going to want to see, what is your thought process when things are difficult, and how do you go about making decisions under stress, I guess. Kind of wrapping up to the other thing is that the nursing school you're applying for will want to kind of see and highlight your personality and your dedication to the program. So they're going to want to know that you are interested in being a nurse, you're invested in completing the program, you're invested in, dedicating a lot of time to nursing school and a lot of energy, because nursing school is not easy, as I'm sure you've heard, and it's you learn a lot in a short amount of time. So they're going to want to see that you're dedicated and that you're willing to kind of work through challenges in the program and kind of be have a positive outlook on nursing school. So to kind of conclude, I hope this answers a couple of your questions about how to prepare for nursing school. If you have any other specific questions, please just put them in the comments or email me. I'd be happy to talk with you directly about any questions you have preparing for nursing school. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye, guys.